Hello, I am Dr. Clare Craig. I'm a diagnostic pathologist, and since 2021, I have been co-chair of the Heart Group in the UK. And we've been gathering evidence and speaking out about aspects of COVID that have been unscientific and also about medical ethics. Mika has asked me to provide an expert testimony for his case coming up in the European Court of Human Rights, and I'm busy working on that at the moment. I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what I'm intending to say in my testimony. So the starting point is going to be framing it around medical ethics, because that's the core of what has been undermined here, the right to bodily autonomy and to informed consent. So given where we are, I will be starting off talking about the Declaration of Helsinki. Now, this was written in 1964. It's been updated several times since. In 2021, this made clear that the individual was to be protected over the needs of science and society as a whole. So that's the starting point. And then I'm going to bring it up to date with the Universal Declaration on Bioethics and Human Rights, written in 2005, which was, of course, restating all of these same principles that we thought were solid and were right and were well understood, but clearly they have been overturned in recent years and now need to be fought for again. So I think it's really important we get back to a place where those principles are properly understood again. That's why I'm starting with the ethical framework. And then I'm going to go on and talk about science. I'm going to explain how someone like Mika was not at risk from COVID, and how there were big problems with PCR testing, and how those problems led to all sorts of confusion, including the myth of asymptomatic spread. And it was that myth which led to ideas of treating the healthy as if they were diseased. I'm then going to move on to what was known before a single vaccine was approved. There's plenty of evidence of what risks were to be expected, including a paper by Drew Weissman, who got the Nobel Prize for the mRNA technology, who set out all of the risks that he anticipated this product would cause. And the literature on that expanded after his paper from 2018. And of course, it carried on after the approvals, when the evidence started to come in as people were harmed. And then I'm going to move on to the argument about efficacy. And again, the principal argument is what was known before a single one of these products was approved. So from around 2000, there was plenty of literature to say that respiratory viruses which replicate in the respiratory epithelium cannot be prevented by injections that cause antibodies in the blood. So infection and transmission cannot be stopped if you've got antibodies in the blood from a vaccine. And that was very well established at that point. And having sort of set out what was known before the approvals, I'm then going to go on to show how breakthrough infections and evidence around transmission was all very clear before the 10th of December when Mika went and bought his croissant in the cafe. So there was plenty of evidence that the vaccines did not stop infections or transmission. Having said all of that, I'm going to briefly touch on censorship, because I don't think you can explain to people how their view of the world is so distorted unless you can explain to them that they've not heard the whole story and why they didn't hear the whole story. And then the whole thing will conclude around the religious exemptions and why there's plenty of reasons why somebody who is a Christian might not want to be injected with these products, and that was a perfectly valid reason to deny your consent. So I wish you all the best of luck. Enjoy your evening tonight, and I will keep doing my work and contributing in whatever way I can. Thank you. Bye-bye.